But he's a dirtbag anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they begin to they be listening to Tupac and Biggie now.
Oh yeah.
You know, they are Snoop Dogg is in Hillary Clinton's playlist. You seeing the hip hop
Yeah.
generation is getting the influence,
Mm-hmm.
even though they fighting against it. They even influenced by it.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
unmistakable and undeniable. This music is the force and power of the warrior souls of the youth.
Indeed.
Right? So we bumping the 808 because it's the war drum.
And then just like you talking about as far as the infiltrators coming in, they come back with in the 90s and they flip it all into gangster rap when it was all positive.
Right. Matter of fact, they had a whole meeting
Mm-hmm.
in
I heard about that.
'91 to
Yep.
subvert conscious rap and to
That's it.
bring gangster rap to the forefront.
To the forefront. Yep. Professor Griff did a whole he nailed that with a that book he did, you know, in lectures, man. He went in on it. But yeah, you know, like you said earlier, use it against you. You know what I'm saying? They
Yep.
hate they yeah. So I'm gonna go another route now. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you know, in information, you know, I always used to hear the black woman is God, right? And, you know, I'm like, cool. My mom, God, you know what I'm saying? My mate, my mom, black, she, you know, she birthed me, you know what I'm saying? And so on and so on. I see all these great things, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, fast forward to the time I got introduced to the Mama Zogbe and the Sybil, right?
Mhm.
So I'm sitting there reading this book, and I'm like, I had no clue what these sisters, how powerful and what they were doing, you know, back then. So here's a question. You can, you know, roll with it how you feel. But could you paint a picture of our original culture as being matriarch, you
Mhm.
know, it going through a time frame and then the flip happening, okay? And we're losing and going to patriarch and now the rise of matriarchy. Could you kind of, you know, walk us through that, please?
Okay, so the story is best told as the story of Oshun,
Mm,
right? So when you want the backstory, that's the story you go look for,
okay.
right? Under the patriarchs, when the men take power, they supposed to take power in times of war, not in
Mm-hmm.
times of peace, right? So patriarchy got have its purpose until it's weaponized against the divine feminine, right? And in order to weaponize the patriarchal position, you have to refuse the right of the mother to get in her rightful position in the household. This is why they trying to convince women to go out into the work world. Every woman don't want to work. Some women want to stay home and fine tune the home environment so they can create heaven on earth for their family, right? So the science of this is called feng shui, right? The women who are the matriarchs, they are often accused of having OCD, right? Because they always cleaning something, they always organizing something, primping something. That's that behavior in any other species is called nesting, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
they call it nesting when an expectant mother is about to have a baby and she cleaned the whole fucking house up at 9 months pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But if she can keep it up and continue to do it, now she got OCD.
Yeah, yeah.
But what they don't understand is that process, what they call nesting, is actually her tuning her chakras and her portal, her vajayjay, into the frequency of the love energy. She's bonding with her child in the nesting phase. She can continue to bond with the child after the child is born by continuing with the nesting behavior. And
Mm-hmm.
this is where we understand how to raise children,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
By observing the natural phenomenon, we understand that the human women normally form circles around the children as they teach them things until the boys are old enough to go out with the father into the bush and take his rites of passage to becoming a man,
Mm-hmm.
right? In the early years, the fathers, you know, he playing with his kids like every other father, but for a period of time, he's supposed to be in the hands of the mother to get certain critical starter lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pair binding that they made is for her to teach him the basics to reading and writing,
Mm-hmm.
the basics to bathing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then when she passed him over to the father, that part the father don't have to take care of now. He can start teaching him the culture, start teaching him how to live off the fat of the land, how to hunt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
How to be live off grid if need be.
Mm-hmm.
How to live in the system. How to manage money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you know that your wife handle money better than you, if she's your wife and she really your wife and you really feel that way, she's supposed to handle the money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you supposed to make sure that it continue to come in so she can continue to generate heaven at home. So every time
Mm-hmm.
you're not out in the getting substance from the world to return back to the nest, when you get to the nest, you got heaven on earth.
That's it.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the women are the only people on the planet that you're getting in this motherfucker through as a human.
Yeah.
You're not coming in without going through the portal of life, and it's only owned by females.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck what the elemental P people say.
Mm-hmm.
Right? A woman
Yeah.
is born genetically female at birth,
Mm-hmm.
grows up, goes through puberty, learns the ways of the woman, and that's how she get to be a woman instead of
Mm-hmm.
a girl or
Yeah.
a young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you're born with testicular fortitude and phallic elation, you are not a woman. You can't be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's just physiologically, genetically impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they chop you up and remove your mainstream pieces,
Mm-hmm.
your DNA still gonna say you're a man,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Which changes the whole understanding of what's taking place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In order to attack the divine feminine, you have to remove the divine masculine because he will protect her to the end of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is what's going to call all the other tribesmen together to rally around the women when they start coming together saying, hey, they gave it back, clean it up.
Yeah. Our turn.
Yep. Unapologetically assert our position from our culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. If we assert our position from our culture using our traditional ways, there's nothing they can do but honor our instructions. We're going to
Indeed.
see Larry and Angel Bay soon.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know the date.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this government is in the process of transition,
Mm-hmm.
right? DC is closed. The White House closed. The Senate closed. What they call the State House, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck that motherfucker is.
Yeah.
That shit closed. The Federal Reserve is closed. IRS is closed. Y'all, the people just still participating in their shenanigans. That's why people not getting their income tax check. Ain't nobody
Mm-hmm.
hardly there.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Now, the good brother, Rod Hayes, he don't ask for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go ahead and put his cash app here so y'all, we all need support. We all need to do a thing. Well, I'm sorry. What is the cash app, brother?
$, capital S, lowercase IK, capital A, lowercase PE.
One more time, please, to make sure I got it right.
Capital SIK, capital APE.
All right, we'll put on here. Okay, yeah. So please support the brother here. I'm gonna stick it right here. So we're gonna run it across here because I mean, you know, this brother could be doing something else, but instead he's taking the time to wake us up. You know what I mean? And even an individual like me that's been around some great master teachers. You know what I'm saying? Good brothers like this that are coming with it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta respect that. We gotta support these brothers, man. We gotta
Hey, look,
support them.
people don't know I walked away from a good job. I had everything I needed.
Mm.
I had everything I wanted. I ain't want nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But my mama, my old lady, and my son grandmama felt like we needed to do something to clean this shit up.
Mm.
So they volunteered me. I hate social media with a passion, but I love my people more than I hate social media.
That's the truth. That's so true, brother. You know what I'm saying? I tell folks all the time. That's why I never even post. I hardly ever post nothing. Everything I got to post is doing something to try to uplift us, man. You can have that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care nothing about. There we go. Let me put that back up here. That's it, right? SIKAPE, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, cool, cool.
they
Gotcha.
might be
So
able to
yeah,
find it wrote like that.
what you say?
They might be able to find it wrote like that. But
Okay, all
only
right,
the S and the A is capital.
all right. Let me fix that then. Only the S and the A is capital. Let's see. Only the S and the A is capital. So that's a K. That's an I. Oh, I see what's happening. Never mind. I see what's happening. There we go. Only the K and I. Okay. We gotta get this right here so we can get the good brother. It's a K-A-P-E. Only the K and the I. There we go. Gotta take this time out to fix this, family. Gotta take this time to fix this because I want this. I want this. Only the K and the I. Okay, cool. We got it. Yeah, because I mean, like I said, we gotta support these good brothers like this, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something. I see sincerity. You know what I'm saying? Every time I put on a clip, I just see that you love your folks and you're trying to uplift folks and you ain't just you trying to help us all humanity. You know what I'm saying? And I love that as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's needed. Okay, so the Sybil, getting back to the Sybil. Okay, so historically speaking, you know what I mean? Like in reading the book, the Mama Zagbe book, and just reading about that, because I was reading things like they knew the power of these women, you know what I mean? And they used to do stuff like, you know, they used to make them keep their doors open, you know what I'm saying? So they could watch them all the time. They knew their power, so there was a full on extent to just suppress them. Like what type time frame are we talking about as far as like is this like
You heard the Salem witch hunts, right?
yes.
That's the most recent episode of the same repeat cycle
Mm-hmm.
of undermining those women that would wake up to other women. You never were right. The S
Oh, hold
and
on. Let me fix this mess, man.
the S and the A is the only capitals.
Oh, you said the S and the A. You said the S and the A. Let me fix this, man. The S and the A. Let's get this right. So we got a lowercase k, lowercase k. The S and the A, right? You said
Yep.
S and A. So that's right there. Let me see. S, capital S I K, capital S, lowercase I, lowercase k, A, P E. Correct?
Capital A, lowercase p, lowercase e.
Yeah. Got you. Let's take a look at that real quick before we move on, because like I said,
Got it.
yeah, perfect. All right, cool. Sorry about that, fam. We went back to the civil now. I had to get that right so we get, we got to get the support to the good brother. So, okay, Salem, witch hunt.
Right. So when you go back and you review the record, you'll see that there's one episode where all of the girls start doing a dance. They was all doing the same dance in different parts of the town. Right. And they murdered them all because this is called hiving.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is what the practice that the whirling dervishes do when they
Mm-hmm.
spinning around.
Mm.
Right. They are trying to stir up mitochondrial energy by becoming a centrifuge.
Mm-hmm.
The gravitational pull on the body release certain enzymes in the blood that powers the DNA to try to discover what's taking place because it's giving you the sensation that you're in the centrifuge.
Mm. Mm.
Right. and the enzyme that it produces gives added charge to the mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
But the men can only raise it so high, and then that's high as it'll go without the aid of a woman,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't stay. When the dervish get done doing or the Sufi,
Mm-hmm. Sufi. Mm-hmm.
all of the Sufi rites are the rites that the women of these civil priestesses are supposed to be practicing
Mm-hmm.
because they want to turn their mitochondrial up. We talking about going from a 3-foot aura to like a 60-foot aura,
Mm-hmm.
right? And being able to instantaneously heal people just by the people stepping inside of the aura,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
right? So who touched my hem of the garment? And the Savior didn't see, but he turned around and said, somebody touched me. How do they
Mm-hmm.
know if you didn't see and they only touched the hem
Mm-hmm.
of the garment? How
Mm-hmm.
do you know they touched you?
Mm-hmm.
I felt it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? How did you
Mm-hmm.
feel it? It was within the confines of my energy grid.
Mm.
When the person stepped in the energy grid, they absorbed the energy that powers the mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
And the mitochondria powers the DNA, and the DNA began to activate as a crystalline light body in order to heal the body, in order for all of these things to balance out in your system.
Mm-hmm. So that's heavy, man. So I mean, and these are the sciences that only a small individual, small groups of. Now, let me ask you this question: different things like this. Is this certain things that the sisterhoods, like your Mama Watsi and all these other sisterhoods, that they still have that type of information that they're still, you know, holding on to? I mean,
Well, you still have long lines of yoni priestesses.
mm-hmm.
You got long lines of doulas.
Yeah.
You have long lines of midwives
Mm-hmm.
that has been family tradition passed down.
Mm-hmm.
The difference in the midwife and the doula is the midwife has access to Western medicine as well
Mm.
as the traditional
Tradition.
rites,
Yeah.
right? So they
Mm-hmm.
normally will have a nurse practitioner in Western science perform the functions um, as the midwife.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's a doctor and she can write prescriptions and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So another thing, you know what I'm saying? I want to kind of build on Star Wars, so to speak. Not really the movie, but yes, kind of the movie. You know, dealing with. We know there's a galactical council that oversees this planet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest? Who's beefing the biggest right now, as far as controlling the planet? You know, what's popping right now?
Right now, the whole Galactic Council is in a state of amazement
Mm-hmm.
that one of us figured out this scrambled egg.
Mm.
Right? They're like in awe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people from various places waiting to come in at the close. So we're gonna see some phenomenal shit in the sky. And I don't even like talking about that shit. Because we got
Mm-hmm.
problems, we ain't even focused on the shit on Earth.
Actual fact. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's definitely understandable. You know what I'm saying? Yo, and if, of course I see the people in the chat, etc. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to go ahead and ask them the questions, because you know what I'm saying, we got the good brother here. You know what I'm saying? So please ask your questions. I see some shout outs. The brother Rod Hayes, some of your people out here showing you love in which they supposed to. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
so people watching this, brother Rod, and they're saying, what can I do at this point? You know what I'm saying? What we hear all this, we starting to wake up. Can we? What's your what would be your? How can you assist to some of these individuals that might have questions like that? Because I hear this all the time.
Well, we still got to tribe up. We have to
Mm-hmm.
start communicating with family members that we wouldn't normally communicate with.
Mm-hmm.
We have to start organizing tribes. But your tribe don't necessarily have to be related to you by blood.
Mm-hmm. True.
So you probably tribe up with motherfuckers from 50 different countries,
Mm-hmm.
right? because that's those people all on the same shit you on, right?
That's
But
true.
then somebody else, they might only deal with a certain group of people.
Yeah. So like when you were on when you were with Black Magic and all y'all brothers were together, vibing all together. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I was so happy to see that, man. I'm damn near cried, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, most of the time you see this, especially, in the 90s, all that stuff, people arguing about, oh, the Sumerians are better than the Egyptians, I'm right, because, what I'm saying? It was none of that. And, what I'm saying? You really had a real good point because everybody's coming together in harmony, and I think that my personal opinion, is just that what you said is so key just because we can just accomplish so much more with
Yeah,
like-minded
well,
individuals.
look, we gotta respect everybody' right to disagree with us.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody not supposed to like us,
Yeah.
right? Just like everybody not gonna hate us.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody ain't supposed to understand where we at,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all got a different piece to the puzzle.
Exactly.
Because we all lived a different life,
Mm-hmm.
right? We all live the same life. This should be boring,
Boring. Yeah.
right?
Very
So
true.
we watch the ups and downs, the rises and falls of other people.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to give us the tools to understand about our life.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, if God's so perfect, why did God create handicapped people?
Exactly.
God created handicapped people so you healthy motherfuckers can see the motherfucking handicapped people outdo your healthy ass while you complaining about your life,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
right? So we know that this person is autistic or have Down syndrome or whatever the case, but they get up off their ass with their handicap and show you that the handy can,
Mm-hmm. That's it.
right? But
That's
then
it.
we sitting over here, able body, supposed to be a whole man, and we bitching because somebody don't like the organization we belong to.
Exactly.
I got a right not to like what I don't want to like.
That's it.
You can't make me like your shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most retarded shit. And that's where we getting jacked up at
Mm-hmm.
because we letting other people make us follow what they want us to follow instead of coming to our own conclusion
Mm-hmm.
based on personal understanding.
Mm-hmm.
We don't trust ourselves because if we did, you can't lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
You tell your higher self to get the answer, and then a week later, that shit just occur to you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You be like, oh yeah, that's the answer to that question I asked. Where'd that come from? How did I know that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we gotta activate higher consciousness and higher self-respect, love of self, knowledge of self, in order to be able to use that of any effect. All these people talking about manifestation this and manifest that, manifestation this.
Mm-hmm.
It don't work like that,
Yeah.
right? Manifestation on you, it's the same as going to the gym to get buffed to enter into Mr. Olympics.
Yeah.
If you don't practice manifesting shit, your manifester ain't gonna manifest
I can
nothing,
manifest nothing. Yep.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
while you sitting there tearing down the other people that's manifesting around you, you could be learning how to make your own manifester manifest the shit you won't manifest.
Manifest it. Yep. That's
Just
actual
put it
fact.
in your personal manifesto. It's for you to
Mhm.
read.
One of the and I'm going to say this, and as a question somebody put in the chat, and you can deal with that. But one of the things I always think is very interesting because you look at life, from quote unquote a subatomic level. Meaning, when I say that, I mean you're not looking at it and just dealing with this mundane third day reality. Even if we have to deal with it, your mindset is coming from almost a overstanding or an outer standing. You know what I'm saying? Of what we have to deal with this third dimension. You know what I'm saying? Could you kind of build on that, the importance of that?
Well, the position you start with is why in the fuck are we here?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, so we here, we live in our life. What's the point?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now the only way to know what the point of being here is, you have to study how different people live life.
Mm-hmm.
By studying how different people live life, you might take some of the rules they use, some of the tools they use, and use them to your advantage
Mm-hmm.
to help you in your own life,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So they say leaders are readers, right? But if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book,
In the book. Mm-hmm.
right? Closed mouth never get fed,
Mm-hmm.
and the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Mm-hmm.
In the lingo on the land, that say that the wise one sees the problem, finds a solution, and makes a consistent noise before the people,
Mm-hmm.
so that the squeaky wheel can be properly oiled in order to resolve the problem
Problem.
that confront the collective tribes. This is not
Mm-hmm.
a one tribe issue.
Yeah.
This is an all tribes
All
issue.
tribe. Mm-hmm.
So all tribes from the land, on the land, have to click up with their family members, their tribe members, they extended tribes, and they have to raise a matriarch to give the orders. So what it looked like is when each group, no matter if it's 10 or 1,000, each group got a matriarch and they ready, they alert the resource center for the grand matriarch on the land, which is Mother Khadijah.
Mm-hmm.
So the resource center would be the local MGT. The local MGT are not to be approached by the men. That's not y'all job. The mothers are supposed to be telling them, we tribing up, we got our big mama. This her name, this where we at, this where we from, this is our head count. And the local MGT gonna say, okay, we need y'all to do this in order to have the proper structure for your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Then they gonna give them the structure. When they get the structure, they gonna go home and organize. You
Mm-hmm.
finance committee, you on the public relations committee,
Mm-hmm.
right? You on the planning committee,
Mm-hmm.
you in the cooking committee, right? So we putting
Mm-hmm.
people in the position that they love to do the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to do anything where they are going to feel taxed and labor.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to do the labor of love
Love.
for the ones you love in order
Mm-hmm.
to keep the love in the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's not personal, it's just how the families roll.
Mm-hmm.
When the mothers get enough mothers across the land, they're going to let Mother Khadijah know what's going on. They're going to give her back a report. And then she's going to give her order, and the government. And so coming through the Lions Gate, we talking about 8-8. So we talking about the seated queen. 8-8 is seated queen. 80 is an open queen seat. 880 is an open empress seat. 888 is the empress seated. So when we looking at the events that's taking place and the timing of events that's occurring converging, we are at the close of the Aquarian of the Piscean age, the opening of the Aquarian age. We in the Jubilee year 2022, which cancels all contracts. Then also, this is the third year in what we call the redemption process of the organic people from the land to reclaim their birthrights and restore the land. Now, we've seen the Pope make a Canadian visit, and he had to be publicly put on notice to his face that his rule is over with because we operate from a higher standard of law, and no longer can the daughters of the land be compelled to operate under the foreign jurisdiction because the superior law has been activated, and she put him on notice that the matriarchs across the land has stationed the chiefs. They already put the chiefs on notice to cleanse the land. And what that means is that it is our job to reestablish government, which takes us to Noble Drew Ali immediately. Because one of the things that he say in the oral statements and prophecies, for those who
don't understand, Noble Drew Ali won't understand what he's talking about. But he said that he would leave these people in power long enough for us, the organic people of the land, to learn how to run government. So when he declared that we was Moorish nationals, there was an agenda attached to it, a legal maneuver to navigate a contract. Now, Ty's been telling us for years how to navigate this contract so we not victimized by it. And he's been reiterating the same thing. These people is a de facto corporate entity acting in a legal capacity as if they are the de jure or the rightful owners and lawmakers of the land. They are not. So who are these people? Where the hell did they come from? Right? And who do they represent? So when I trace back, another thing Noble Drew Ali said is, I need for you to get a good Moorish education. Moorish education is not restricted to Moorish science doctrine, nor the dogmas attached. The doctrine of Moorish science traces all the way back to Rome. And we understood that, and we've seen different things transpire over the course of time, but most of us don't watch what we call the long game, right? So we in a 6,000 year lunar cycle of the 4 cycles in the age, right? So it's a 24,000 year galactic clock. And it is the 2 lunar cycles, moon cycles, and there's 2 sun cycles, and they each separate one from the other. They alternate like fan blades. Now, the reference in understanding the time is Charles Mosley Bay's Clock of Destiny. Because if you don't understand the Clock of Destiny, then it doesn't make sense the alignments of the stellar arrangements, nor their effect on Earth. So then that takes us to the metaphysics of Moorish science, which takes us to C. Freeman Eel, who thoroughly broke down the Masonic secrets behind Moorish science in the Moorish science that was withheld in the Masonic secrets, right? So along comes Hakeem Bey to explain to us the tribal connection between the ones we call the righteous Moors, which will by default expose the ones that we call the dirty Moors. We call them dirty Moors because they pretend to be with us, but their allegiance is to some other entity not from Earth. In that allegiance, they have sworn war against us until the close of the age, what they call the end of time. The end of time is the close of the age. This is now. We going into the Aquarian age of knowing. That means that the secrets now have to be exposed to the public in a fashion that the public can assimilate who it is doing the dirt, where they at, and how to get rid of the motherfuckers. So they came in as Spanish conquistadors with Christopher Columbus, but they preceded him and they sent scout ships over here 100 years prior to Columbus. References, they came before Columbus, edited by Ivan Van Sertima. So once they got over here, the elders who left the tradition in the South America specifically, said, we didn't see any ships. Now that's blatantly sticks out to me as an open secret because we were a seafaring people who sent Algonquins to fight in the Iberian Peninsula against these same motherfuckers, and aided them in ridding the land of these same rogue elements that was using adrenochrome, bloodletting rituals from Babylonian blood magic